Take a look at this picture. Do you know who that is? According to age progression experts, it's what Erica Baker would look like if she were alive today at the age of 24. But on this 15th anniversary of her disappearance, we now know with virtual certainty that she is no longer with us, and we are left with this more familiar image in our memories of a little girl lost. Tonight, only on 2 rare insights and revelations from the one man who wants nothing more than to bring her home.
911, what's your emergency?
My granddaughter has disappeared.
Hi, Erica.
9-year-old Erica Baker of Kettering, Ohio.
Greg and Melissa Baker's 9-year-old daughter has been missing for over 2 weeks.
Suspects, I'm not going to speculate. It's a slow, methodical process.
She's in our thoughts and in our prayers.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
So please, Mr. Gabriel, tell us where our beloved Erica is buried.
For the past 15 years, it has been the Miami Valley's greatest mystery, even for those who have been there since the beginning. For the past 32 hours, the Kettering Rec Center has been the focus of this search. And outside of Erica's immediate family, no one has lived and breathed it more than Kettering Police Sergeant Bob Green, the lead detective on the case for the past decade and a half. And he's still living it today.
Honestly, when I look back on that time, we did everything we could. We pulled resources from Hamilton County by having their helicopter come up here.
Green has dedicated much of his life and career to Erica's case, but has rarely talked about it. But recently, he and I returned to the pond where Erica was last seen alive, and where Green says the once murky waters are now clear.
I am 100% sure that Erica Baker was struck by a van that Christian Gabriel was driving, that her remains were removed. I don't know if she died due to that accident or if she was killed later. Christian Gabriel claims that she died as a result of the accident, but he won't tell us where the body is.
You think he knows?
I know he knows.
Christian Gabriel remains the only person ever convicted in the Baker case, serving 6 years for tampering with evidence and gross abuse of a corpse. Green took me to the corner of Glengarry and Powhatan, where he believes Erica was hit the day of a busy hockey tournament at Kettering Rec.
And he knew, because he was here, that there were cars parked all up and down this roadway, because both those parking lots were full. He said the little girl darted out and he hit her. How it changed over.
Next, the sergeant took me to the secret location where Gabriel's van is still being held as evidence today.
Some rolled up carpet right here.
Gabriel has always claimed that he and his late accomplice, Jan Franks, were shoplifting that day, fueled by drugs and alcohol that dulled his memory. Green doesn't buy it.
He knew where he was. He knew how he was driving.
So he had clear recollection of specific details.
Absolutely. He referred to her body as twisted and broken when he observed it underneath his van. His words, twisted and broken. Don't tell me he was drunk. And then in detail told me the positioning of her body, how he arrested it in the hole in which he dug and placed her arms across his chest and covered her face with Jan Franks's jacket and covered her face with a hood over her face. That's detail. And you don't just bury an individual and not know where it happens and where you've done it.
At the Kettering Police Department, there are still file cabinets full of all the evidence collected over the past 15 years.
These are all the phone tips. They were marked. They were categorized 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the most important.
But what's most important now is bringing Erica home. And Green has one final message for the man who holds the key.
Keep looking over your shoulder, because we're coming. And we're still there. We know where you're at, we know where you're living, and we're watching you. And it's not going away until you wise up.